Hey, because we are sure risking it all on this journey of business ownership, aren't we? If you want to know what it takes to become a business owner, let's talk about that journey that Jay-Z and Pharrell so aptly described in this song, Entrepreneur. I'm LizJSimpson, founder of the Big Money Movement, alongside our Director of Operations, Kelly Lawson, and lead coach and trainer, Cheryl Parks. And we're going to talk about this journey. But first and foremost, Cheryl, kick it off. Let's talk about the distinction, because there's levels to this.
There are levels. So when we first started talking about this, I was curious, are we looking at a business owner in terms of being a business owner that has a team, or the solopreneur entrepreneur journey? And the distinction to me is, if you're a business owner, typically you have a team available to continue delivering your service or product if in fact you are not able to be there, whether you're on vacation, you just decided to take a month off to spend with family, or you potentially are sick. So that would be the business owner side. The entrepreneur, solopreneur side is more, well, it's very easy to become an entrepreneur, solopreneur. You're not hiring a team. You are typically providing and delivering your service on your own, wearing many hats.
All of them.
All the way around. So, those are the distinctions. And so as we speak to it, we're gonna speak to all of it for everyone.
Yeah. I love it. There was we were talking about this as a team, and we were mapping out the guide, the success path that we walk clients through. And I believe we talked about freelancer, consultant, business owner, and exit. And just the level of distinction. So you can start out as a freelancer, that might be a contractor, the gig economy, project-based, and then you move into consultant, which is more of the thought leadership, right? I'm a thought leader, I have an approach, I have a framework, I have a methodology for how I create results and transformation. And then you graduate to business owner. And Trevor Ott says the answer to who doesn't have to be you. And that's all of a sudden when you realize someone else can create these transformations, these results for me. And then finally is exit. We work with women entrepreneurs, and I don't think enough entrepreneurs have a plan for their exit, right? So what is your plan? Are you passing this on to someone? Are you selling the business? Are you looking at mergers, acquisitions? So I love that you called out, let's define this thing before we talk about how you become the thing. Kelly, do you want to talk about business ownership, or is that my job at this point? I forgot.
Well, you know what, baby?
Yes, absolutely. I think business owners absolutely have to build a team around them if we're going to talk about growing the business and not just keeping it stagnant. So the best business owners know and understand how to build great teams and how to leverage teams and motivate their teams. So I definitely think that's crucial to the business owner's journey.
Agreed. When I think about, we are part of the Big Money Movement, where we empower women entrepreneurs and consultants to land six-figure corporate clients. And we talk about the success path. We're always helping them to grow to this business owner stage, which I think is one of the hardest transitions. Like, it's really easy to pick up a client off of your own skill set, right? It's like, because we like to control. We're like, I'm going to control these results. And it's another thing to say, oh Lord, there's some folks I can't control, and I got to pour into these folks, and it's a variable, and I don't know what's going to happen. And so I think there's this big growth stage that happens there. And when we work with the women, we call it CEO activation, right? And it's developing the skills to activate your inner CEO. And so when I think about what it takes to become a business owner, I think it takes knowing how to run a profitable, predictable, sustainable business. Like, who cares if you can't run a business? So when you think of the owner's box, I think of, one, do I understand market need? Am I solving a gap in the marketplace? Do I have predictable sales? Do I have systems around sales? Do I have systems around client delivery and how I serve my clients? Am I forecasting my sales, my revenue? Am I looking at who needs to be on the team for this thing to be scalable and sustainable without me? Do I know my numbers, right? And so I think it's stepping into understanding the business model that you have, continually growing your business acumen, and then that leadership component is so huge, because now it's no longer about me, but how can I bring out the best in people? It's interesting because I think when we look at products, many people understand if I have a product, then I'm building a team around people to run the business, right? But I think it's something about, for those of us who are subject matter experts, consultants, or things of that nature, the moment that we are the service delivery, we really struggle with how to build a sustainable business. And I think for many of us, we are led to this journey through passion. Like, I love marketing. I love leadership. I love operations, or insert whatever it is that you're passionate about that you provide to clients, but we're often not passionate about, whatever those things are, sales, marketing, operations, whatever that thing is, and we want to run away from those things. And I think what it takes to become a business owner is to fall in love and obsess over all things business. I love orthogonal thinking, and the idea behind orthogonal thinking is I'm not just committed to learning my business model. I'm committed to learning as much about all different types of business models, because I never know what innovation another market or industry is going to inform or inspire a way that I can rethink my business model.
Can I add a really important part to this conversation?
No.
No. So none of us predicted a pandemic, right?
Right.
I mean, so literally, if you're not considering the good old-fashioned SWOT, right? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The pandemic would have never shown up as a threat.
Right.
But there are, I would venture to say, millions of businesses in this country that have pivoted, folded, reemerged, closed for a while, come back, and they had to just make other decisions based on profitability, based on labor, right? So now we've got labor shortages. We have supply chain issues. There are just so many things that are impacting the way business runs that you have to think 360.
Yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're a generalist, and we all know what happens to generalists.
Extinction. That's the word. That's the word we're looking for.
Yes.
I also think it's important to have business owners understand that they absolutely have to invest in themselves as the business owner. Like, you have to know that your constant growth and challenges can be scary, and it can shake the foundation of the business. But if you put yourself around other thinkers and in a community, just like the big money movement, where we're having these high level conversations, or we're pouring into the business owner and investing in the next levels, it's really, really helpful and absolutely crucial for sustainable business growth.
I agree with that. I, personally, and you all know, panic attacks are a thing for me, right? They weren't a thing pre-entrepreneurship, right? But as I dove deeper into running a business, the things I can't control and those terrors have created panic attacks. It's someone at this seat whose salary started this trajectory, because she came on here demanding a whole lot of money, and I was wondering. I knew she was a critical hire, and I was like, Lord, please give it. Consistently, and do not take it away. But no, like, all jokes aside, like, there was a level of hiring and also having a substantial investment in hiring where it was terrifying for me. But being in rooms with other leaders who made that investment, it normalized it for me. It was like, you've already looked at the books. You see the P&Ls. You know you can hire the person. Like, and sometimes looking at the worst case scenario, right? Like, here's the worst case scenario. Can you live with that? All right, then keep it moving, girl. And take one step at a time, right? But having people, I like that you said that, investing in yourself, having people around you. And one thing let's argue if y'all see differently. I don't think you can be a business owner without a healthy risk appetite.
I totally agree.
I agree.
Yeah.
And you need to demonstrate it. not a healthy risk appetite in your head. Like, actually making moves, right? Stepping out there on faith, on, whatever research you did, whatever it is. I mean, there are huge businesses that evolved from risk. They took a large risk. I mean, so I'm a Southwest Airlines. And Southwest Airlines
Let's move Kelly off the couch.
For years, though, they were profitable, right? Because they came in, they positioned themselves as clean, fun, and simple.
Yeah.
And they came in and took the market by storm, and they were profitable for many years. I don't know if the pandemic is included in those years, but they've always been profitable because they stayed focused on the one thing. I'm sure they know their books, and as well, they had a healthy appetite for risk.
Yes.
Yeah, they hedged on oil, I think, way back in the day, but that's another story.
Do either one of you want to define that? I know I put it out here and I'm like, define what it means. But like for those listening who don't know what that means, how would we explain having a healthy risk appetite to them watching?
Imperfect action.
Say that. Massive.
Imperfect action. Literally just knowing that you are not going to have typically all the information you need to make a good decision. You're going to make the decision based on what you know, who you've talked to, what you see, right? And just a side note, that's exactly what doctors do. Like, they only know what they've studied and what they've experienced for the most part, and then what they read about, right? So if something comes in with something completely new and out of the norm, they're going to tell you, I've never seen this before, right?
And then do their diligence.
Exactly. Do the diligence to imperfect action, get with elevated thinkers, people that are like minds, and come up with answers, you know? So
I love it.
I'm not saying that we're medical professionals, but
What about you? Is that how you would define a healthy risk appetite as well, or do you see it differently?
Yes. Also, a big part of risk is that the path reveals itself as you take that imperfect action that you were chatting about, Cheryl. And on that note, I'm ending this video.
If you want to keep this conversation going, I definitely think there's a massive opportunity in the marketplace that you're missing. Learn more in the next video. I'll see you there. Do it, do it, do it, do it.